Tien finally did something. Dragon Ball Super episode 106. That's right. Tien was pretty cool in this episode, and I kind of hate to say pretty cool because he probably should have had his own episode, but we'll get to that. He does get eliminated in this episode as well, which is kind of like, you know. But we'll get to that. And I don't hate it or anything. I'll explain. But first I want to go into the technical side of things because there's a lot to talk about. First off, the story progression. I usually save that for last, but the story progression of the episode, we had 4 eliminations. I really like that there's a lot of eliminations per episode for the most part. I think that's a good pace for the arc when you have 80 fighters. And I know, you know, it's got like the 48-minute thing, and now there's 32 minutes, and it's been like 10 episodes, and that's really weird. That is slow, like the clock is moving slowly, but there are eliminations every episode pretty much. I don't think there's been a single episode where there hasn't been at least 1 elimination. Most of the time it's 3 or more. And since Universe 7 lost a team member in this episode, that's even, I don't want to say it's even further in terms of story progression, but it does put Universe 7 at just a bit more of a disadvantage. I think they still have the most fighters, or no, they would be tied with Universe 6. Yeah, because Universe 6, they lost Dr. Rhoda, and they lost Batamo, and they haven't lost anyone else, I don't think. So yeah, Universe 6 and 7 are still tied, kind of fitting. And I think, who else? Like, Universe 2 probably... They've lost like half their people. They lost the cat chick, they lost the 2 sniper guys in this episode, and they lost someone else too, like the harpy chick, they lost her, so I guess 6 remaining, if I'm not forgetting any other eliminations for them. Universe 3, I have no idea. Universe 3 has been a total ghost. I mean, they barely show up. I have no idea who's left in Universe 3. I know Hit took out the robot, and I know Kaba took out another one of them, so at least 8. Universe 4 is doing really bad. They got, like, the invisible ones that we haven't seen yet, and, like, the fat chick or something. I forget, like, there's, like, a big green chick or something like that, if I remember her color right. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Universe 4, they're probably going to be the next ones to go out. They didn't show up in this episode, though, but they'll probably be the next ones to be eliminated. And I'm trying to think, is that all the universes? Because Universe 10 and Universe 9 are already eliminated, so... Oh, in Universe 11, obviously they have just the main guys left, fucking Jiren, Toppo, and fucking Dispo. If I seriously just remembered all the remaining fighters off the top of my head, that's kind of impressive, I mean, except for Universe 3, because they're just so fucking like, ghost right now. I mean, it looks like they're going to do some stuff next week, but that's next week. And it could just be one little fight between the fucking Goo Guy and Dispo, or the Goo Guy and Jiren, which I like. I want to see that scene. It's a total digression, but I want to see that scene because the preview cuts it in a way where you see the Goo Guy fighting Jiren, and then you see the fucking Supreme Kai from that universe just like shocked and his hair's all fucked up and it looks comedic. I really hope oh fuck, voice crack, sorry about that. I really hope Jiren just fucking annihilates this guy in some really flashy, cool way. And just leaves the Supreme Kai stunned. That'd be really awesome. But with that digression aside, getting back to the technical side of things, music, good, nothing too stand out in this episode, but it got the job done. They played some cool tracks. Then you have the animation and art. Animation was fine, it was pretty good, nothing really stand out or amazing, but nothing really bad. It was just a good, solid looking episode. Conservative, but fine. The art's a little more interesting, though, because the art is consistent in this episode. It's really solid. Miyako Tsuji came in like a fucking savior and just recorrected, like, everything in the first half. Because if you saw the preview, it looked pretty iffy. Like, the preview for this episode looked pretty fucking iffy. Piccolo and Gohan looked really bad. Derpy shot of Vegeta in there. But thankfully, Miyako Tsuji came in, recorrected, like, the whole first half, which is surprisingly a fucking Yuichi Karasawa half, and that's... Usually he's on point. Usually he's got that epic fucking 3-tone shading going on, super detailed art, and you see it a couple times with a shot of Roshi, a shot of Piccolo's hand. You know, they're really detailed, they look really nice. But Tsuji comes in and corrects a ton of it, which means Karasawa was probably very rushed for this episode. Maybe it's because he's working on the special. If you guys don't know, there's a double-length fucking Dragon Ball episode coming up that's... It's not like a filler special thing, like a crossover or anything like that. It's actually just going to be 2 Dragon Ball Super episodes smashed together. And I think it's Goku versus Jiren. I think that's what I've been hearing. Kind of a spoiler, but I mean, you know it's going to happen eventually. Plus we have a few more weeks away, so it's not like they're rushing it or anything. October 8th, I believe, and then there's going to be like a One Piece one the week before that, but I care about that, but I don't, because it's like Dragon Ball Super, it's going to be canon, and obviously I'm not going to watch it if it's canon, because I'm nowhere near caught up with One Piece right now. I hate to digress again, but I do want to mention that I'm really glad that those specials are fucking actual canon material, because One Piece just wrapped up a special, the episode of East Blue, which was really fun, by the way. I've been thinking about reviewing it. It was really well animated and it was really cool. But they just wrapped that up. That probably hogged a lot of good animators. The animation of One Piece probably suffered a bit because of that. If Super, because One Piece has, as far as I know, One Piece has a perfectly fine production schedule. If Super took the time to do a TV special and took away any of its animators from the show would fucking fall apart. There's absolutely no way that Super could sustain animating a show and animating a special or movie at the same time. So I hope they never do that, and I'm really glad that this special is just a double-length episode. Another reason to be excited for the special is I believe Shida, that's right, now Toshi Shida has confirmed he's working on it. As far as I know, I haven't actually seen the tweet, but Anime AJ said it, so he's pretty much the gospel of fucking Dragon Ball animation. So I'm gonna fucking, no, I'm not gonna call him a liar. But getting back on track, I talked about the art, I talked about the animation in this episode. What else is there? Story progression I covered, music I covered, pacing of the episode. It's kind of a slow episode, but I think that's good. It's kind of a deliberately slow-paced episode with a lot of strategy and a lot of planning and, figuring out where the sniper is, and Tien doing this fucking 9 eyeball thing with his clones and shit. Like, it's really cool. I like the deliberately slow pacing of the episode. I like that the last few episodes have had a lot of strategy, a lot of thinking outside the box. Roshi hypnosis, and fucking the other bitch had illusions, and then Roshi used the Mafuba and stuff like that. And then, you had Hit and Dispo, and Hit had to, like, fake him out and, be unpredictable with his moves and shit. And that was really, really cool. And the other dude with the strings, and when Hit was about to attack, he would grab him with the strings, and that would change up how Hit had to fight, and Goku had to help, and lots of really cool fucking strategy, teamwork. I like that. I like that a lot. It's been really, really on point in terms of strategy and teamwork and shit for the last, 3 episodes, and I really hope they keep it up. All around, it's a really solid episode. I'd probably give this one a solid 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a very good to great episode of Super. I really enjoyed the strategy. I thought it was fun. I liked the pacing. Seeing Piccolo get his arm blown off was intense. Seeing them, heat up the rocks and shit. That's something you've never seen in Dragon Ball. This dude's tracking them by heat, so they're making a bunch of, they're heating up the rocks all around them so the guy gets confused and everything. We've never seen that in Dragon Ball. That's really cool strategy. So I really enjoyed the episode. And then Tien at the end, even though it's kind of disappointing that he got eliminated without really doing anything super significant, it was still a nice moment for Tien, and I thought he was just going to get totally shafted in this arc. He actually came through here. Him and Roshi got an elimination in a previous episode. He did his job. He served his purpose. Though I will say I would have handled this differently. Had I been in charge, I would have had everything the same up until his last clone got shot. If you notice, when his last clone got shot, it went off screen, but you didn't see it disappear. I would have wrote it so that was the real Tien, and the one that went over and did the tri-beam and confronted the guy was a clone. So that when this dude tricked the clone and knocked them off the ring, and he's like, "Ha, I tricked you, you let your guard down," the real Tien can come from behind and hit this guy, knocking him off. The clone disappears, and the real Tien is still in the ring, and he's fine, and he's good, and he can still fight. That's how I would have wrote it. Though this guy's beams are really powerful, they're blowing off Piccolo's arms and shit. Maybe Tien couldn't, take a hit like that, is kind of iffy on, that. But that's how I would have wrote it, because Tien getting eliminated like this, while it's still cool, it is kind of like, well, Tien's done now. He might do something in a later arc, I hope these characters... Krillin was cool. Krillin has had masterful character development in Dragon Ball Super. Just absolutely impeccable character development. And it's always had good payoff whenever, it comes back into play. There's always more good Krillin scenes. He had a great moment in the forest episode with Goku. That's not where his character development started, but that's a really nice payoff moment, because we started his whole PTSD thing. Is it PTSD? There we go. We had that in the Resurrection F arc when he saw Frieza. And you go forward from there with this whole, Forest of Illusions thing with him and Goku, and seeing these past villains and him having to confront it and, look within himself. And he elevated himself. He got back into training. Great sparring match between him and Goku. So fucking awesome. And then in the actual tournament, him and 18 teaming up, him taking that dude down by himself, him and Roshi teaming up. He got a great episode to himself, but he was the first to be eliminated, and it was by letting his guard down. I really hope these characters aren't thrown to the side again after this arc is over. I hope that they continue to develop and continue to get screen time, especially Tien, because Tien was cool in this episode, and he teamed up with Roshi in a previous scene. Actually tri-beamed a guy who looked like Cell out of the ring. I don't know if that was like a little like reference or whatever, but that was kind of neat. But yeah, I hope we see more of Tien. I was kind of hoping he'd get an episode to himself, but he was cool here. He did a good job. Even Beerus praised him. It was a nice scene. It was cool. In Universe 7, it was about time for them to lose another team member. They've been doing really, really well. They did need to lose someone else. I thought it'd be Roshi last week. Might be Roshi next week, because Frost, dude, Frost looking fucking bad. Revenge F is the name of the episode. I like that episode title, by the way. I think that's clever. Or maybe it's not clever, but I just like it. But yeah, Frost looking beastly in the next episode. It looks like Universe 6 is going to be making some plays, and Frost will be at the forefront of it. And Roshi, another Mafuba, he might die, dude. Roshi might die, which could trigger this new transformation that Goku has coming up, but I feel like that's going to happen in the two-part special, and that's too far away for that to happen next week. Well, actually, is this episode airing next? I think they're actually taking a break next week. There might not be an episode. So, you know, maybe, because I think leading up to this special, they're going to take a week off, which is kind of weird, because it's like, oh, double-length episode, but if you didn't air one the previous week or the previous couple weeks, then you're kind of just making up for it. It's weird. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. There might not be a super episode next week. I'm not too sure. But yeah, Roshi could be dying pretty soon, and that, I don't think so. I think they're making it look like that in the preview, but it's not going to happen. Because I feel like that's going to eliminate Frost, and I feel like Frost and, you know, Frieza are still going to team up and do shit, so yeah, I don't think Roshi's going to die. Unless, like, the Mafuba kills him and it fails, and it's like, well, you know, Frost didn't technically kill him, you know, he killed himself, so, you know what I mean? So yeah, maybe that'll be what it is. Maybe Roshi will die. But I don't know. I mean, they teased it in this last episode. I don't know if they really want to do it again just a couple episodes later. It's kind of weird. I don't know. But the preview's really cool. I already talked about the Jiren fucking Universe 3 stuff. That'll hopefully be really awesome. Animation looks solid next week. I don't know who's supervising. I feel like we haven't had a Kitano in a while, which is scary because it's fucking Kitano. But maybe it's him. I mean, Kitano episodes tend to be extremely redrawn by the chief supervisors, so, you know, maybe it's Kitano and then redrawn by Takeo Ide, because he's the chief supervisor. Well, there's two chief supervisors. There's him and Miyako Tsuji. Miyako Tsuji recorrected the shit out of this episode, which means it'll be Ide next week, and then, or whenever the next episode airs, and then it'll be Tsuji again the following episode, and they'll probably both work on the special. The special is going to have a ridiculously long staff list. I would be shocked if that staff list wasn't filled with, I mean, Sheeta's confirmed. I think Takahashi, who's basically like a mini Sheeta, he's confirmed, or he hinted at it. It's probably going to have Yamamuro, the character designer. He always shows up for transformations. At least for corrections, maybe not actually animating it. So yeah, it's going to have a lot of big players on there, and I don't really like Yamamuro, but he is a big player, so, you know, hopefully Shimanuki's there, though he did work on this episode. Great art from Shimanuki, by the way. I love his art style so much. Okay, I need to stop. Like, is this a review of episode 106 or a discussion about the damn special coming up? I swear to God, both, I guess, but hopefully you're enjoying the video. I don't really have much else to say, though. It was a cool episode, loved the strategy, liked what Tien did, thought we could have had more from him, but I expected less from him, honestly, so I'm really glad. You know, like, I wanted more, but I expected him to get shafted, and he did kind of something in between, you know what I mean? I wanted him to do as much as Krillin. He didn't, but he didn't totally disappoint, so whatever. Tien, pretty cool. Like the strategy, like I said. Next week looks really cool. Excited for the special and all that, and Sheeta coming back is going to be awesome, so with all that being said, did I rate this episode? I think 8.5 is good. Yeah, 8.5, very good to great episode. What did you guys think of this episode of Dragon Ball Super? Go ahead and tell me in the comments section below. Give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, if you like what you've seen here. Click that little bell to get notifications when my videos go up. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.